afternoon to all and welcome to our online youth School of the Word. Last week, we have heard how important it is in our discipleship to nourish our friendship with Jesus through the life of one blessed Carlo Acutis. What was your favorite part of his story? For me, only one thing stayed, that he is just like me, a young person who loves ice cream and video games. I really identify with him in that sense, but also admiring that he used all that he is to love Jesus as he is. When he said, Jesus is my life plan. Yung plano ko sa buhay si Jesus. At saka natanong ko sa sarili ko, is Jesus my life plan? Or is He only part of my life plan? With this friendship, yung pagkakaibigan ko kay Jesus, one grows in a life of trust and confidence, in a friend who knows me, who knows each one of us, and loves us as we are and who we are. So for today, we're going to speak about and look into the story of a young saint named Blessed Shara Badano. She lived a life full of trust and confidence in God, and also we are invited to do the same. Minsan, sa buhay natin, sinasabi natin, or each one of us, we say to ourselves, I have a lot of trust issues based on our experiences in life, and I think all of us may experience tayo in one way or another to fear of someone breaking our trust. Just mentioning about it makes us think of many things, people, or of ourselves. Natatakot tayo na mawalan tayo ng tao na pagkakatiwalaan. But one sure thing is that trust is important. And in one preaching of one missionary, it really struck me because she said, one needs to first know and trust the person before one can truly love the person. To love, I first need to trust. So to love and follow Jesus, I first need to trust Him. How can I learn to love if I don't risk to trust and be confident to God? Because I know and I am sure that He is the only one who will never break my trust. Shara Badano was born on October 29, 1971 to Ruggero and Teresa Badano of Sassano, Italy. So silang mag-asawa, nagdadasal sila for more than 10 years na magkaanak sila. And Shara was the answer to those prayers. She was a typical kid, not always listening to her parents, but she also showed a devotion to Jesus. Her mother retold a story of Shara when she was 4. Sabi ng nanay niya na ligpitin daw yung lamesa, but Shara refused. She left the room but soon returned, saying, how does that story from the gospel go about the father who asked his son to go to the vineyard? Mommy, help me put my apron on. So dun na-realize ng pamilya niya that even at a young age, Shara knew it was important to do the will of God. Shara was a very good kid. She seemed aware of the needs of others. So one time, she would sort through her toys to give some to the poor children. And sabi niya, na nakita once ng nanay niya na nililigpit niya yung mga laruan niya. Pero sabi niya, ba't mo ibibigay yung mga bagong laruan mo? Sabi niya, hindi ko naman ibibigay yung mga lumang laruan ko sa mga mahihirap. She invited less fortunate people into the family's home for holidays. At saka binibisita din niya yung mga matatanda. Kung magkakasakit yung mga ibang bata, Shara visited them. She loved the stories of the gospel and loved to attend Mass as well. When she was 9, Shara joined the Focolare movement. Yung Focolare means hearth or family fireside in Italian. It was founded by Shara Lubitsch. It's a Catholic organization which focuses on unity and universal brotherhood. So in that time, no, she discerned her vocation and she said no to herself and also to the people that she trusts. I want to choose him as my only spouse. Makikita natin na sa buhay, sa life ni Shara Badano, how much she had experienced that loving religious family in her house and also that community wherein she grew up in that faith and understanding na yeah, it's good to give, na magbigay. She also has her flaws and not so good qualities like each of us. But from a young age, she had that inclination to God and of His will. She developed this trust lumaki at yung kanyang pagtitiwala sa Panginoon dahil sa mga taong nasa paligid niya, sa mga taong nagpakita sa kanya din ng tiwala, ng tiwala. And for each one of us, can I recall experiences in my life when I learned how to trust and love God, where I learned how to be confident in His presence through concrete persons in my life who also taught me how to trust, who also taught each one of us how to live a life of trust with God. Who are these persons? Who are these people? And Sharon was also known to be a good friend, a good friend who went out with she had her group of friends in her youth group and 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 also her close friends in her place. And one day, her mother was asking her, Shara, bakit hindi mo sabihin, introduce si Jesus sa mga friends mo? Sabi niya, no, I don't speak to them about Jesus. I give Him to them by first listening to them, then in the way I dress. But above all, knowing them. We can see from her life of friendship with Jesus that it made her understand how to best love her friends as she understands from Him. One of the instances sa buhay ni Shara that really showed her trust and confidence in God was when she got sick. Shara was known to be an active girl, enjoying hiking, skating, tennis, gusto niya mag-swim din, tsaka gusto niya magsayaw at kumanta. Her favorite place in the summer was the beach. But it was while playing tennis na at the young age of 16 na naramdaman niya yung severe pain in her shoulder. Then she was soon diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer na pinapangalang osteosarcoma. This form of cancer is masakit and the treatments that she underwent were unsuccessful. Upon knowing her illness, sabi ng nanay niya that how she went into the house and said to her mother, "Don't speak to me." For 25 minutes, she just lay on the bed, no suffering inside. Her mother said that she always said yes to God with joy, but in that moment, she saw how she suffered. That was the dark moment sa buhay niya, accepting the challenge, accepting yung pagkasakit niya. And I guess, like her, all of us have experienced also this dark moment or some dark moments in our life not only physically, but could be also emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. That experience of loss of hope, no, that maybe some of us are living in this time, na yung pagkawalan ng pag-asa at pagtitiwala. No? Faith, in the feeling that I just want to give up everything. No, that experience, no, of doubting if God ever exists. No, like sometimes in our life we feel, does God exist? Or if He does, no, does He love me? All those negativities, no, that we may have experienced in this time, no, the difficulties in the online class, staying all the time, no, in the house, and don't know what to do, don't know how to live, no, the different situations, no, just in that four walls, no, sa bahay natin. Living in that fear or anxiety that probably, no, worst will come. Those experiences, no, and many more, we can name them, are some of the dark moments, no, where we experience, this time. I also remembered no one concrete experience, no, of being in this dark moment, no, in my college years. It was when, no, I was in second year to third year college. I have encountered, no, many experiences in the family, but one also that added, no, to it was being discriminated in school. No, kasi kami ay irregulars na naging irregular, hindi kasama sa batch. And one moment, no, I was with my group, and my teacher na asked me a very difficult question. No, yung isang subject na hindi ko pa nakuha, next sem ko pa kukunin. At saka, no, nahiya ako, tas umiyak ako sa harapan niya. No, kasi alam niya na hindi ko pa nakuha yung subject. No, I will still take it the next semester. But she insisted, no, for me na sumagot sa kanya. Even if sinabi ko na hindi ko alam. And nung pumunta ako sa klase, no, the next day, yung mga classmates ko, nakatingin lang sila sa akin, no, na parang alam nila kung ano yung nangyari dun. Tapos, alam ko na ako yung I knew that I was the talk, no, of the class. And also, no, of my teachers, na ina-evaluate nila ako, that they were already thinking, no, many things about me. I always felt that they wanted me out, no, out of the curriculum, out of the course. No, kasi hindi ako nakapasa sa way, no, that they want me to learn, no, to learn. And also, no, that feeling for me in that moment, na this same teacher, no, suddenly changed, no, her schedule of exam, no, on a weekend. And so timing, no, na I really wanted to join, no, to join in an activity, no, sa Verbum Day, which is the vocations retreat. And tsaka, no, I already had a ticket. So I was asking her na I'm begging to be excused, pero she didn't allow. Being a probationary na that semester, I was afraid that I would really fail. No, one subject that I would fail, na I would be out, na I would change course or school. In those moments, no, I was very afraid, no, I was sad and depressed. So I went to the nearest chapel, no, sa school namin, and just cried out. No. I was making all my reklamo, no, with Jesus. Jesus, tinutulungan ko naman yung mga kaklase kong maging positive sa buhay. No, like, they always were saying, no, thank you, kasi you helped us, no, out of this fear, and try to do, and I was telling Jesus, I try to do what you want me to do. No, but seems like I am the one struggling, no? Seems like ako yung na persecuted, no, in this time. No? At saka sila, wala naman silang problema, no? They are doing well. They are passing the subjects, getting high grades. sabi ko kay Lord, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Hindi ko na kaya. I was losing my faith and trust, no, in those moments, no, in His words, in His promise that He would make me happy, no, that I would enjoy, no, in my course, that I would be happy in this career. But it was from those moments, no, dark moments, also in my studies, no, that I hear the words from Him. Don't give up. Don't give up. And my motto always was, do your best. Do your best, my lead, and I will do the rest. I am with you in these moments. And those words gave me so much peace not to continue and not to give up what I understand from Him. To trust Him even if I don't see the results. To trust Him even if I don't understand so many things. So now I invite you na in this time to recall a dark moment experience, no? Or it could be in this present time no, na na-experience nyo yung dark moment in your life. Yet, how do you experience trusting in His presence? Paano nyo nadarama no, na yung presensya ni Jesus sa buhay nyo? Na it could be a dark moment of loss of the sense of why I am here, of the purpose of why I am doing this, no, why I am studying, why am I living this, no, maybe in the dark moment in the family, or financial instability in this time. And where was Jesus in that moment? Saan si Jesus? It is like entering a dark tunnel. It is when the light enters. Mother recounts na pagkatapos ng 25 minutes of darkness was was a face full of joy and light in her face. Na-experience niya yung presence ni Jesus. Doon niya nasabi mo sa nanay niya, now we can talk about it. Chemotherapy caused her hair to fall out, but even this did not stop her. Each time a lock of hair would fall out, she would offer it to God, saying, for you, Jesus. Eventually, losing the use of her legs, she was offered yung pain reliever para mawala yung sakit niya. But she refused. Sabi niya, I cannot offer to Jesus anything but my pain. Nagsakit siya, though she is sick, she spent her time in the hospital cheering up other patients, such as a young drug addict with severe depression. Nung encourage siya magpahinga for doing such work, she said na may oras naman ako na makapaghinga later on. She believed and accepted that Jesus had sent her cancer at exactly the right time. Despite of all this, she also wrote letters and sent messages to others. She attended the vocabulary youth meetings, and she inspired one who visited her, especially the young people. All her savings to a friend becoming a missionary in Africa, and she inspired an atheist doctor who said, Christianity makes sense to me. When her life was nearly at an end, she just said, I have nothing left, but I still have my heart, and with that, I can always love. She always had the disposition of joy. Masaya siya despite all that she was living. Not because kailangan niya maging masaya dahil sa parents niya or dahil sa friends niya, but that joy comes from that strong relationship with God. And on October 7, 1990, Shara passed away. Her last words to her mother were, Mama, be happy because I am happy. A huge crowd attended her funeral, and at her request, she was buried in a white dress, like a bride going to Jesus. How despite of all that she has been living, she has continued to encourage the young people only because of her friendship and a life of trust and confidence with Jesus. So para sa akin, posible kaya yun no kung may pinagdaanan yung tao tapos nakaka-encourage din ng iba? So in the life of Shara Badano, we see how it is possible. In experiencing that darkness with Jesus, one cannot be moved no but to share also that experience with others. I was able to share no, and encourage a friend no, still recovering no, from depression no, because of the pressure in school, because of that experience no, that I have of the presence of Jesus. For you, how is Jesus inviting you to share this experience no, of trust to others? How about you? What are the parts no, of yourself, yung nasa sarili nyo, yung mga dreams nyo, thoughts, feelings, mistakes, nor people, sins no, that you're not still able to entrust to Jesus? Maybe sa time of prayer na yun no, is to ask Him, Jesus, give me that understanding heart. No, give me that heart and mind that I need in this time para, like Shara, I can also be joyful. Na I can have that sense of joy no, in me to be able to entrust to you all that I am living no, in this time. Especially those things that we don't like, the dark moments no, in our life. So I invite you no, in this moment to have that experience no, of trusting in God, to know the trust from God, no, and to listen to His word, know what He is saying to you. Stay with the passage no, or words that God is stirring in your heart. Listen to Him as He says to you, trust in me with all your heart. Never rely on what you think you know. Remember me in everything you do, and I will show you the right way. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. When He says, I alone know the plans I have for you, plans to bring you prosperity and not disaster, plans to bring about the future you hope for. And invite you, secondly, to express situations in your life that is bothering you in this moment. Yung mga tanong nyo sa puso nyo, yung mga concerns and difficulties in this time. And to allow that He gaze at you. To connect sa tingin ng Diyos sa iyo. Allow that He give you the trust. Allow that God give you the confidence and the security that you need, that you are not alone in all of this. Allow Him to reach out to you in this moment of prayer. Feel His hand, look at His gaze, and remain in that silence and in His presence, saying to each one, I am here, trust me. So I invite you no, in this time to stay with the Word of God that has helped you, or with the life of Shara Badano that has struck you in this moment. To tie them on your arms and to wear them on your foreheads na as a reminder during this day, to be constantly reminded of His presence and to learn more each day how to trust in Him. So in this time, we are going to have a moment of silence and to ponder on these questions. What caught your attention in the life of Shara? Na ano yung striking sa life niya para sa iyo? Second, what passage struck you? what word of God is trying to tell to your heart in this moment. And the third, what situations in your life need trust? Do you recognize them? And the fourth one is, what are your good experiences of trusting someone?
Our good, though sometimes we can't see how they could. Struggles that break our hearts in two sometimes blind us to the truth.
Our Father knows what's best for us. His ways are not our own.
So when your pathway grows dim and you just can't see Him, remember you're never alone. God is too wise to be mistaken. God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan,
When you can't trace His hand, trust His heart.
trust His heart. He sees the master plan. He holds our future in His hand. So don't live as those who have no hope. All our hope is found in Him.
We see the present clearly, but He sees the first and the last.
And like a tapestry, He's leaving you and me to someday be just like Him. God is too wise to be mistaken. God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart.